Welcome back to the Boom Boom Room. We are back here with Whispers Across America. I got my co-host with me again, Mr. Ted Fitzpatrick. How are you doing, Ted?
Good, man. Good. Ready for the spooky.
Ready for the spooky.
Let's go.
Yep. Well, it's next in line, of course, is Arizona. And, yeah, the old dusty state.
Mm-hmm. The high desert.
I
think of Arizona, I think of cactuses. Is that the plural of cactus? Cacti? Cactus?
Cacti. I think cacti.
But I bet there's some spooky stuff there. I mean, because if you think about it, Arizona was the Wild West, right? It was part of the Wild West.
Yeah, tombstones.
Yeah, man. So I bet there's some ghosts guarding gold that was robbed from trains.
No,
I don't know.
Yep, a lot of people that probably lost their life in gunfights.
Mm-hmm.
Old tombstone.
Arizona.
Well,
yeah.
We're going to bring you 4 spooky folklore or scary tales, guys, of paranormal phenomena or cryptic action. So I'll let you go first, Ted.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first spooky folklore from Arizona is called the Skinwalkers of Navajo country. In the dark canyons and remote mesas of northern Arizona, where the wind whistles through the rocks and the stars shine harsh and cold, the Navajo people whisper of creatures called skinwalkers. Yi Naldulushi in the Diné language. The name means, with it, he goes on all fours. These are not just monsters. They are witches. Humans who have committed terrible acts, murder, cannibalism, betrayal of their tribe in exchange for dark powers. By wearing the skin of an animal, a coyote, a wolf, an owl, a fox, they can transform into it, mimicking its appearance and sounds. Some say they can even mimic human voices, luring victims into the desert. Travelers and residents near the Navajo Nation have reported bone-chilling encounters. A shadowy figure running faster than any man, keeping pace with a moving truck. Hoof prints that turn to bare human feet in the middle of a desert trail. A voice outside the window that sounded like a loved one calling for help, though that person was hundreds of miles away. Skinwalkers are said to be almost impossible to kill, except with bullets dipped in white ash, and only if you know their true name. Navajo elders warn against speaking of them too often, as doing so can draw their attention. If you're camping near the Four Corners at night and hear scratching, howling, or soft laughter that doesn't sound quite human, stay inside. Lock your doors. Don't answer if someone calls your name from the dark. Because once a skinwalker marks you, it doesn't stop until it's done.
Hey, have you done local theater before? Just kidding. You had me pulled in there, man.
I just get these are just fun stories, man.
Yeah. So what do you know about the Skinwalker? Do you know much about it?
I mean, I don't know much about him. I mean, I just learned a whole bunch about him right there. I know, I know that they were witches.
Yeah.
But see, okay, yeah, okay, they can transform into these animals but they still have the human intelligence and they can
Uh-huh.
lure victims into the desert. So I assume that and this is just,
Uh-huh.
assumption
Yeah.
that they need to claim victims in order to maintain their power. I don't know. You
Uh,
know?
I don't know, but when I've been going down that rabbit hole and know a few people in the cryptid community that is pretty well common cryptic. That
Mm.
friend of mine, he claimed, I don't want to butcher a story or tell it, that when he was like 12 or 13, he was at his buddy's house and he was watching TV and he looked over in the window and there was a skinwalker in the window and it was big white head, big almond eyes, and its mouth was real big. Like their mouths are, most of them they see is real big, huge, and a lot of teeth, and they're real skinny and white, in that form, the skinwalkers, and real skinny and like they're transparent looking. But I've heard, like you said, stories that they change too, that they can change into anything. I've heard they can
Mhm.
change into dog man, Bigfoot, but that's
Mm.
it's freaking creepy, you know. I couldn't
Mm.
imagine seeing something like that, man. Could you imagine being like 12 or 13, seeing in
Oh,
the
dude.
window?
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing, but imagine actually being, camping. You're out in a tent. That's a
Wow.
whole, that's a whole other, whoo, the whole other deal right there.
Wow.
But it's kind of cool because you got it's a little bit of the lore. It's interesting the
Uh-huh.
way to kill a skinwalker is kind of a mix between werewolf lore and
Yep.
demon lore.
Yep.
Because with the werewolf, it's a silver bullet, a bullet made out of silver.
Yep.
But with skinwalkers, it's a bullet dipped in white ash. So, you have to make a fire, let it burn completely, and dip that. Must be something. Must be something symbolic in ash,
Yeah.
like a purifying, like a
Yeah.
because fire purifies. So,
Yep.
but then from the demon uh, mythology, you can banish a demon if you can figure out its name.
Yep.
And so with skinwalkers, it's a combination of both. You have to know their name, their true name,
Yep.
and you have to have the special bullet. So that's kind of a
Yeah.
it's kind of a cool, yeah, it's kind of a cool
It's
little.
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, even if you
Mhm.
don't believe in them or not or whatever, that is a pretty cool lore.
So
I had somebody. I'm sorry. I had a notification go off. I don't know what that
it's
was.
it was we're not well. That's it. You know what, dude? Don't answer it. It was
It might be a
probably
Skinwalker.
it's probably because we're talking about it. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yep, that's right. Now I'll tell you this before I go on to my story. There's this podcaster was telling the story. I think he's half. Let's see.
Not Navajo.
No, he was half Comanche, and he's
Mm.
half Mexican. He's a podcaster. I won't name his name, but he's from Texas. Pretty big podcaster. He's a cryptid podcaster. But anyway, he was telling about his Spanish grandma. Was a lot of them been seeing these three black wolves, three or four black wolves, huge wolves, in this back roads of Texas. out of Austin. And I guess he's seen him and his friends, and he had stuff happen to him, you know, and stuff like that. But anyway, getting to the Skinwalkers, his grandma told him an old story. He said that there was this Mexican guy, and this he was in love with this woman. He come from old Mexico into Texas. I guess Austin, like it was in the 1800s, and he was in love with her. But and he played. He's in played the trumpet or something. You know, wherever you play in the mariachi band or whatever they call them. Those little. Is that what they're called? The ones when you go to Mexican restaurants and they play.
Mariachi.
Mariachi. Okay.
Yeah.
She ended up. Now his grandma told him the story. Said she ended up marrying this rich guy. Okay. When she married this rich guy, he wanted to. He still wanted her, but he didn't have the money. So he went to some kind of whatever witch or whatever, and he signed a contract with the devil that, you know, to play really good. So he become really, really good, and he got these other two dudes, and they made them sign the contract. Anyway, they started playing super good and started getting famous. Well, he started having an affair with this woman. And
wait a second. He went to the crossroads?
Yep. He went to the crossroads. So he ended up, you know, having an affair, sleeping with this woman. Well, a rich dude found out, her husband. They found him, and when they found him, I guess he had some henchmen of his. You know, he had money and power, and had the dude castrated.
Damn!
But let him live. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, and then after that, his singing was even better, man, because he got more famous because it was higher, you know. He could sing super high after that.
super high. He ended up she didn't want nothing to do with him then, I guess, where he couldn't sleep with her. So he took his, you know, he offed himself, right?
Oh my
and
God.
Anyway, the other dudes ended up not long after that getting killed in a some, I guess it must have been an early, because they had vehicles, so it was a car wreck, so it must have been early 1900s or something like that. But anyway, or it might be 1930s. It's back in early 1900s. So anyway, they were cursed since they made a pact with the devil to be these wolves, you know, and just to terrorize people on this road. So they was cursed for eternity until Judgment Day to, you know, run them roads. And so that's basically what they call, I guess, a skinwalker, you know. Now, yep, there's another cryptid. It's not a skinwalker. Cannot think of it. Cannot think of it right now. Maybe later. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting story. Now, if it was true, you never know. Probably just was handed down to scare people. But
now, did one of the wolves have a really high pitched howl?
Probably.
Tried to be scary, but sounded more like a coyote.
Yeah. Instead of going ow, it was going ow. Oh shit. Probably, man, you know, he probably took that into eternity too, you know, with his curse.
Now we might have to revisit that one, man, for Comanche State, you know?
Yeah, might have to.
So this next one that you're going to read is, now I've heard of this one's a famous one, dude.
How do you know about the next one?
It's I've heard of this one.
Can you see my screen or something?
Oh wait, no. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the next one I'm gonna read.
Oh, no, yeah,
Okay. No, okay. I have no idea what's coming.
Okay. The next one is called The Haunting of Jerome. Arizona's wickedest town. I've not read these either. I kind of just went over them, so I don't really know what's up. But anyway, perched high on Cleopatra Hill, the old mining town of Jerome, Arizona, once roared with life. Saloon fights, wild brothels, and copper mines running day and night. But what's left now are whispers, creaking floorboards, and shadows that move on their own. During its heyday in the early 1900s, Jerome was called the wickedest town in the West. It was lawless and rough, filled with drunks, outlaws, and desperate miners. Explosions from the mines shook the ground constantly, and fires destroyed large parts of the town more than once. Hundreds died in cave-ins, fights, or sickness, and many were buried right in the rocky hillsides, often without names or markers. Today, Jerome is a haven for artists, tourists, and ghosts. The visitors to Old Jerome Grand Hotel, once a hospital for miners, report lights flickering, voices in empty rooms, and a gurney that moved on its own in the hallway. Some have seen a nurse in white pushing it silently past their door. Others hear moaning from the old operating room or footsteps above them when no one is there. In the old Connor Hotel, bar stools are said to spin by themselves, and guests report waking up to a shadowy figure standing in the foot of their bed watching. Locals speak of the Headless Charlie, a miner decapitated in a tunnel collapse, who is still seen wandering the hillside with a lantern searching for his missing head. And then there's Jerome Sliding Jail, a building that literally slid 200 feet downhill due to unstable ground. Some say the spirits inside were never laid to rest, and now they slide too between this world and the next. Even the most skeptical visitors leave Jerome with goosebumps, swearing they felt something watching them just out of sight. So Jerome. Now, I've never heard of that one. The wickedest town in the West. Cleopatra Hill. That's interesting.
Cleopatra Hill, Jerome, Arizona. I knew it, man. I knew we were gonna get some Wild West stuff in here.
Yeah.
It's man. I mean, because man, the Wild West was. There's a reason that it was named Wild. It was lawless for a period of time. There was the gangs, the outlaws. That was the real thing.
Yep.
And you know, it was kind of like the age of piracy, but in America.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you got to know that when there's all the tumultuous misadventures and the energy of that time and that place, you have to know that that is going to leave a imprint, an energetic imprint, man.
Oh, definitely. I think the average probably age was probably about 38. The average lifespan for somebody, I bet you, you know, and
oh yeah, dude, just the danger of you know, the danger with working in the mines, and I mean, they didn't have antibiotics back then either, man.
No,
you know
they didn't. And
so,
if you get any kind of sickness, you know, wrong sickness, dude, it'll take you out quick. And that's just sad, but I think about that, man, because there was still cowboys in the 1920s because the automobiles, you know, not everybody had one. You know, it probably wasn't until close to 40 till, you know, that was kind of...
back when tuberculosis was the thing.
Yep.
And
You
you
know,
know,
they had old
man,
sanitarium here. My grandma would tell me that they remember a long time ago, probably back in the 40s, that she remember driving by it and they had people like in gurneys, like hanging out the windows, I guess so they could get air or something. Actually
man.
hanging people outside, yeah, and like bad, some kind of hammock things. I guess for
Well,
tuberculosis, yeah. Old
well,
hotel.
no, yeah. I mean, I had a an ancestor, and they moved. They lived in southern Kentucky, but
Uh-huh.
they ended up moving to Colorado because the grandma at that time she got the TB, and they moved to Colorado because it was supposed to alleviate the symptoms, you know, and maybe you could heal from it if you were at a high elevation with the
Yeah.
clean air and such, you know.
Yeah.
So they actually up and left and moved to Colorado just because of
Wow.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know. I was up in working probably. I think it was probably 2001 in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and I seen the hospital and the grave of Doc Holliday, and that's why he went there and died. You know, he was trying to, cure his tuberculosis at the sanitarium
Mm-hmm.
there, or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, a lot of people. Damn, dude, it was lawless because what the deal of it was is so much wicked stuff went on because there was not enough cops, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even though you had the U.S. Marshals, which was started right here in this town that I'm in right now, and
Mm-hmm.
dude, it was bad. It was bad. I said a lot. So do you know there's a lot of spirits and
Mm-hmm.
angry and a lot of evil freaking ghosts and souls and
Mm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
kill them for a dollar, man, back then. You
Mm.
imagine that? Like those people just robbing you on the road. Wouldn't,
Mm.
especially old headless Charlie, the minor decapitated.
Dude, how spooky would how spooky would that be? Whoa,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
man.
that's freaky. I don't understand about the sliding jail. I'm gonna have to look that up before we move on. It's
Yeah, I think I
Jerome.
yeah,
Did you look it
because
up?
Jerome. No, no, no. I just looked up where Jerome is, and it's north of it's kind of northeast of a place called Prescott.
Yeah, I know where
Yeah,
Prescott is.
yeah, yeah. Jerome.
Man, there ain't much left of the sliding jail.
Yeah.
you know. Oh shit! I guess it did slide so far. That is crazy. Jerome. Wow. That is
Yeah,
nuts.
you ever hear of a place called Bodie? Bodie was a town, a Wild West town in the high Sierras of California.
I've heard of Bodie.
And yeah, Bodie's, man, it's fast. I've been there, and it's fascinating. I mean, you look in the original old buildings, you could look inside and you could still see like playing cards in the saloon. They were
Yeah,
on the tables, and it's just all dusty, but it's like it was, over a
yeah.
100 years ago. It's like,
That's crazy,
yeah,
man.
woo,
I
yeah, man.
know. I was fishing in Kansas one time. I was working. I was out of Topeka. I was staying in Topeka in the summertime. I think this was 2008. And like, if I get off work early, I'd go fishing or on the weekend. So I had my son, and we stopped at this place to get some minnows, some bait. And
Mhm.
a little small building. I mean, it wasn't, shoot, seemed like it was maybe a 20 by 30 or something. And I
Mm.
walk in, I look, and you can see an old counter there and this big mirror in the back, up
Mm.
behind there. I said, wow. I said, man, that mirror is beautiful. He said, that bear, he said, it's 130 some years old, he said.
Wow.
I said, really? Never been broke? He said, no. He said, no. And this counter, he said, and you could feel the craftsmanship, you know, and when you see something like that, you think about all the people that's been there and touched it and stuff. But that ain't the good part. I looked down. He said, see that right down there? I said, what is that? There was a little hole, but I don't know if they painted it before. I think in the 30s. It was a speakeasy, I guess in the 20s. And you open it up, and there's a little cellar down there. You know what I mean? And I guess so it was a neat little thing to see. But yeah, back then that fascinates me, man. Thinking about all the people and what went on, and it's history is something, man. And our generation, when it's gone, you know, I don't know about this next generation. They even give a shit. We'll be hunting them. We will. I will. Millennials.
So the next story is also from the Wild West, happened in Arizona. This one's a famous one. I think a lot of people have heard of this one. It's the Lost Dutchman's Mine. The curse of the Superstition Mountains in the blazing heat of central Arizona. The jagged peaks of the Superstition Mountains rise like the spine of some buried beast. Locals say the land is cursed. Hikers go missing. Compass needles spin. And somewhere in those canyons lies the Lost Dutchman's Mine and the death that follows it. The legend begins in the 1800s when a German immigrant named Jacob Waltz, known as the Dutchman, supposedly discovered a gold vein so rich that nuggets could be pried from the walls by hand. Jacob never revealed the location of his gold mine, taking the secret to his grave when he died in the year 1891. But over the decades, dozens of treasure hunters have gone looking for it and never come back. Some of the treasure hunters were found with crushed skulls, others with no wounds at all, just dead from sheer terror. A few of them vanished without a trace, their camps left undisturbed. The food was still cooking. Their gold maps were burned or torn. The local Apache people say the mountains are sacred and guarded. They tell of spirits, Twartums, who protect that land and they punish trespassers. Others whisper that a creature lurks in the canyons, a shape-shifting guardian bound to the gold, driven mad by centuries of solitude. Modern hikers still report strange things. Distant drumming from nowhere. Cold spots in 110 degree heat. A man in ragged clothes walking silently across the desert, only to vanish if approached. If you ever find yourself deep in the Superstition Mountains and you spot a glint of gold in the rocks, think twice. That mine may be real, but it's called lost for a good reason. And some say the mountain takes what's owed.
Wow.
Would you? Oh, yeah, that's it.
Man.
Some say the mountain takes what's owed. Yeah,
The
gold.
Lost Dutchman. Yeah, I've heard this story before. I think I've seen a little documentary on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, the
Yeah.
Dutchman. Well, gold set a lot of people crazy back then.
Yeah, it still does, man. I mean, gold's precious for a reason.
It's up
There ain't.
too, man.
I mean,
it's
it's.
up.
I mean, we see it, but you know, it's. I think I don't know, man. I think I read somewhere that if all the gold was divided equally among all the people, everyone would have less than like, I don't know, a quarter of a gram or something. It was like, it's
I heard
yeah,
it's if you put all the real gold, I can't believe this because I think this is all the gold in the world would be like 6 foot deep and big as a football field. That's all the gold in the world. But how did he know there got to be more gold than that? Maybe that's just
probably
was found.
Yeah, probably the gold that we can get to. I mean, you got to think it's like, it's down in the earth.
Yeah.
But I mean, back in the day, you got the Mitre 49ers coming.
Yeah.
And everyone, that was the mad rush. That was the original thing that brought all the people out. And out and you ever hear the word claim jumper?
Yep.
Yep. I mean, they would kill each other over it. They would stake out. You go into town, you get a piece of paper saying a certain parcel of land is yours, but better be able to protect it.
Yeah, and they were charging so much for tools too, like $100 for a shovel, like equal to 10,000. Our money, crazy, man, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think about it? Who looked up and said in history, gold's the most precious thing on earth? You know what I mean? I mean, somebody had to actually look up and say that.
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it is pretty, but, I mean, it's,
true.
It's, original. I mean, originally in the States, we had the gold standard,
Yeah.
And, that's what it was based on. That's what our monetary system was based on. And then back in the 70s, you had Richard Nixon, who just decided, nope, it's just going to be not based on gold. So it's just like,
but kind of screwed things up in a way, but that's for another video.
Yeah, but could you, man, I could imagine finding that mine. How tempted would you be? About the stories, about the curse, that if you're out there and you found that mine, you're looking in this dark cave entrance and you see some glittering, gleaming yellow nuggets just hanging off the wall.
It'd be hard, man. It'd be hard. I mean, if you're talking about like breaking the law to do it, I wouldn't do it because it's not worth your freedom. But I mean, like if it was free and you knew all the curses and stuff, it'd be scary.
Yeah,
because you don't know what happened to all them people.
Yeah, unless you somehow figured out a way to escape each and every curse.
You'd have every medallion around your neck. Salt, ash, silver bullets.
The Lost Dutchman's mine.
So he was a Dutchman, right? Or it says he was German. He was German. Is Dutch German or?
No, but it's, kind of close, I think. Germanic, maybe.
Yeah, Germanic. Yeah. All right, Jim.
Deutschland. That's German for Germany. Deutschland.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. At least we're close. We're close. All right, the last one we got is I told you before. My friend had a witness on his podcast said he actually seen this monster. But anyway, it's called the Mogollon Monster, Arizona's Bigfoot. Deep in the pine forest of Mogollon Rim. Is there pine forest out there? I thought it was nothing but desert. I guess there is.
Yeah, I imagine there would be.
A vast stretch of high country that cuts across Arizona like a scar. There are whispers of a creature few have seen, and those who have never forget it. Locals call it the Mogollon Monster. This isn't just Arizona's version of Bigfoot. According to stories going back more than 100 years, this cryptid is over 7 feet tall, covered in long, matted black or reddish brown hair. Its eyes are said to glow red in the dark and gives off a putrid, decaying stench like rotting meat left in the sun. And then there's the scream. Witnesses describe it is somewhere between a human wail and a mountain lion's roar, a blood-freezing cry that echoes across the canyons at night. The Apache have legends of a similar creature, a hairy man beast that steals food, terrifies livestock, and mimics the voice of people it hears in the woods. Old-timers say it can mimic a crying baby or even the voice of someone you know to lure you off the trail. Campers in the Rim region report waking to find the tents slashed open or trees around their site bent and broken. Some say they returned to the camp to find all the gear stacked or arranged in a strange pattern, almost like a warning. Others tell of eyes watching from behind the trees, silent, patient, waiting. Forest rangers have dismissed many of the stories, but unofficially, some won't camp alone anymore. A few have transformed out from strange encounters they won't speak of. The Mogollon Monster has never been captured, never been photographed clearly, but the stories keep coming. If you find yourself in the woods east of Payson, or along the Mogollon Rim Trail, the air suddenly goes dead quiet. No birds, no wind. Don't answer the voice calling your name, and whatever you do, don't run.
Whoa, man.
Don't run from the Mogollon Monster. Dude, I'd be burnt. That Bigfoot needs to get out of there. It's burning up with that heat. They need to go back up north.
Yeah. No, I guess they got mountains in Arizona.
Yeah.
You know, they got the ponderosa pines and you know.
Yeah,
I guess they have different biomes.
Yeah, I've never been out there at all. That's beautiful.
The Mogollon.
The Mogollon.
You know, so and it's kind of like it's kind of different about that beast is that it had, you know, its cry sounds like the mix of different wild animals put together.
Yeah.
But it can also kind of mimic human, you know, voice too, which is creepy. I wonder what that. Okay, so the hikers would come back to camp and find their things arranged in a pattern. I wonder what kind of pattern. I wonder what that pattern looks like.
I don't know. They said, you know, they're supposed to do like they take trees and put them a certain way, like a teepee. Some say that that's like marking like deer runs or hunting spot or their clan, you know. And I also heard that they'll arrange stuff, you know, and gift you like they'll gift you crazy stuff. One dude said that he put something out there, an apple or something. The next day there was an old flip phone probably 10-year-old flip phone out there, and it's just crazy stuff, marbles, and I think there's some kind of intelligence they have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These
Yeah, of
creatures.
course. If you're out on a, if you're a hiker, you're out on a trail, and if you see rocks stacked up, like a stack of rocks on top of each other,
Yeah,
that's just people
yeah,
marking the way, marking the trail,
yeah.
so other people could see it.
Yeah,
And so-
definitely. There is yeah, I've seen a deal on that about, hikers do that to mark their trail, which is smart. But I think
it's kind of yeah.
suppo-
Well,
go ahead.
well, it's kind of like maybe it doesn't really matter what exact pattern that their stuff is in. It's just the fact that it is recognizable as being a pattern.
Yeah.
And that it's like the monster is kind of trying to say, this is, I'm smart enough to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's some kind of intelligence with the creatures, and I believe in them. And when you get a chance, after this or whatever, you look up the Sierra sounds. I don't know if you've ever heard them before, but Rod Moorhead, he was up in California. I got to be Sierra because it's called Sierra Sounds. And I know I don't want to butcher it, man, because he's he got a lot of respects in the Bigfoot community. But he recorded him. He's out in the middle of nowhere, Bigfoot speaking. And they sound like, they call it the samurai chatter because they sound like, Japanese or Chinese kind of speaking. The way, and some say it's an old language, and nobody's deciphered it yet, but there's I think he done it in the early 60s, but so many people, experts have looked at the video and listened to it, and it is a language. They, the experts have come to the conclusion it's some kind of language, but it's their language. And it's called Sierra Sounds, and I know. Then again, my friend Daniel, he had him on his podcast last week, Cryptic Podcast, and he's like a freaking legend. You know what I mean? In the Bigfoot community, almost like Patterson and them. That film. So I'll tell you another one to look up is the Minnesota Iceman. You ever seen anything on that before? If you get a chance, look that up. It was supposedly a sideshow carnival guy got this supposedly a Bigfoot and the ice, So, and it's been shot in its arm and its head. But anyway, these experts looked at it and they pretty well said that it's a real thing. Next thing you know, the government got it. This is a story, not confirmed. Got it, and they replaced it with a different one that kind of looked like a rubber suit. But they did replace it for sure. But the rubber suit one or whatever is in a museum in Austin, Texas. So yeah, if you get a chance, look up the Minnesota Iceman. But I tell you, that is terrifying. Could you imagine out in the woods and seeing a Bigfoot, man? Creature like that. I would poop my pants. I'll just be honest with you.
Yeah. Now all we need is a headless Bigfoot looking for its head in a gold mine near Jerome.
Yeah. Sliding in the jailhouse. That would top everything off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I imagine Arizona, dude, has to have a lot of haunted Wild West places, man. Definitely.
Hard as hell, them ghosts is out there. No wonder they're mad, irritable. Well, before we go, is there any state you look forward to doing down on our list?
Well, I mean, I'm from California, so I can't wait
I
for
figure
California.
Cali. I'll make sure nobody gets to do Cali.
Okay.
No
All
other,
right.
no other host are gonna do Cali.
Sounds
But,
good. Sounds good.
Yeah, we was those watching this video, we were thinking about throwing in some whispers across America. I mean, the world.
The world.
The world. We're already doing America. I need some coffee. The world.
Yeah. Another. Oh yeah. That'd be fun too, man.
Wonder,
There's a whole lot more countries than states.
I wonder where we'll start first.
Azerbaijan. No, what's the first? What's the first? Let's see. What would be the first?
I need to get a globe or a map put on my wall. Probably Africa, right? We have to find some kind
well, that's a continent, man.
I know, but we're gonna go to the state and go. I mean, deep down into the cities. And
Man, I just asked GPT and oh snap! You know what the first country is in alphabetical order?
What's that?
And this one has, I'm sure,
Asia.
No, dude, that's a continent. No, the first country, Afghanistan.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I bet there's some stories because Afghanistan, man, you got the. I think they're supposed to be giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The giant candle art.
Yeah.
I got a story that I'm gonna save about that too.
Mm-hmm.
But how many continents are there? I can't remember.
How many continents are there? Aren't there 9?
9 continents. I was trying to think.
Yeah.
Continents and then there's countries. Okay. Get them mixed up. Continents are like. So this continent here is North America, right?
Well, oh no, dude, there's only 7 continents. There's 7. There's Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, and Australia. And so those are the continents. But then, there's many countries. So it's gonna be,
there's a lot, dude.
That's gonna be a good that's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good series, man.
Yeah, that's that's a lot of countries because it's super lot, isn't it? Yeah, we're gonna have to start we'll have to start throwing some in, with that in the mix and stuff. But anyway, I appreciate you, Ted, hanging out and doing this with me again. And
oh yeah, man, spooky stories. It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I just love hearing all the different folklore from these places.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I can't. Arkansas will be the next one. I don't know if you'll do it or I'll have another guest on, but right here in town, it's supposed to be some haunted stuff in Arkansas where I'm from. Old Western gallows, and got the hanging judge here, Judge Parker.
All right.
He hung like 167 people and like 2-3 women and 1 for stealing a chicken. He hung somebody. So believe me, it's haunted. He was hanging them left and right. He started the U.S. Marshals. Yep. But anyway, Ted, I appreciate it, and everybody out there. Until next time, make sure you look under your bed, guys. Watch out. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for watching.